busy and chaotic place filled with love. Helped by a handful of volunteers, the pastor and his wife care for 18 children and young adults. Most have mental or physical disabilities. All were abandoned. The couple have adopted 10 as their own, as many as the authorities will allow.
장애인들은 무시하죠. 편견이 심해요. 그리고 장애인들은 소외시켜요. 그리고 멸시해요. 멸시한단 말이야. 그리고 천대를 해. 천대한단 말이야. 그러니까 그 사람 취급을 잘 안 해. 그래서 그 아이들은 정말 알강스가 아니고 내가 봐도 얘는 죽었겠구나. 얘는 정말 이렇게 잘났다. 여기까지 잘한다. 그 내가 간사한테가 말했어.
이렇게 보면은 스킨십 하는 거 하는 걸 좋아해요. 내 손을 끌다니까 이렇게 하고 근데 옆이고 이런 걸 좋아해요. 그지?
Volunteer Saul Ki-jar introduces me to Saul, who has lived here since she was 8.
지금 올해 20살이거든요. 그러니까 애기 같아요. 그래서 얘는 지금 아무것도 되는 거였고
Without Pastor Lee, what would happen to somebody like this girl?
아마 뭐 정부 시설로 갔겠죠. 근데 얘는 이 목사님 앞으로 허락이 돼 있는 게 아니라 출생식으로 해가지고 왔는 거니까.
Oh wait. Oh, okay. I think my mic is on. I think you guys can hear me. Push one if y'all can hear me.
His labor of love began nearly 3 decades ago, with the birth of his disabled son, Eun Mun.
이 아이를 통해서 일을 하기 이제 시작했죠. 이 아이가 아프고 난 뒤에 병원 생활을 한 14년 했어요. 14년간 거의 병원에서 살다시피 했죠. 뭐 15년, 뭐 10년 전에는 병원비가 없어서 부모는 없어지고 아이만 있는 아이들이 있었단 말이에요. 그 아이들이 하나 들어오기 시작해서 이제 이게 공동체가 시작된 거예요.
As his orphanage grew, Pastor Lee became concerned about the
Okay.
number of
Cool.
unwanted babies being
Okay.
abandoned.
I'm just trying to pull up I'm deciding if I want to put up a live feed update versus article. I just want to catch everybody up really quick. I'm not gonna hold y'all too long because it's only so much that I can say about the situation because it just happened. How do I say this? I don't want to be like the bearer of bad news. I don't like stuff like this. Not like I'm just trying to jump and ruin everybody's day. But I do feel like if we can talk about everything else, because a lot of the times we ignore stuff like this because we think it's not here, it's not in front of us, and it doesn't matter, because the last war that we were in, or some will argue that we are still technically in a war with Afghanistan, but this matters a lot, okay? Just for a few reasons. One, this is very, very close to election season, okay? And I'm definitely am not into conspiracy theories. I don't really like talking about conspiracy theories when it comes to politics, even though I know shit happens. I just don't like to talk about them because people tend to lose track on the reality of what really is going on and tend to focus more on conspiracies because either A, they really don't understand the logistics of what's going on or the ins and outs, which I understand, and you don't have to be like it doesn't make you any less smart than someone who does know what's going on as far as politics and stuff. It doesn't mean that you're an idiot. I'm not one of those people that think that if you don't know what's going on or you don't know who like the 32nd president is, that you're an idiot. That's not who I don't think that way. But I do know that sometimes there's a false sense of what's really going on in the world, especially how we live out here so free and open. And a problem to us in our regular days is really, superficial and minuscule in the big scheme of things, and we have had such a long time, well, basically, hell, my generation, I would say, we've been able to escape freely and live like live peaceful the past few decades. To have something happen right now, if we were to go into this war, and I'm not even going as far as to say, oh, this is going to be World War III, no, I don't even, I don't even play into that conspiracy. However, just a war with Iran right now, just not the best thing for us, okay? One, Iran is very advanced compared to a lot of the other places that we have attacked or been in war with in the past 40 or 50 years, okay? And a lot of times when we get into these battles, once again, since we are very foreign to anything happening to us outside, if you were around for 9/11, we really, don't see any kind of attacks happen on our soils. For some reason, we automatically think that we're immune to it, like it just can't happen. And it's not that, it's just that we do have like one of the best militaries and some of the best tactics and all that stuff, but we are very, like, just like everyone else, meaning anybody can get it, okay? Anybody can get it. There's nothing, no kind of like contracts or peace treaties or anything that protects, like, we could definitely get attacked. It just takes one slip in the chain, one guard to be not paying attention, one person who is rogue out here in America that nobody's paying attention to, that's just been laying in the cut to, carry out something by themselves, because in reality, anybody can, strap a bomb to their back and go and get on the train somewhere, or go into an airport, or anybody who owns a pilot license can get in the air and fly and just take something out. You know what I mean? We just have had it really good. And Iran is not, I know a lot of people have this image in their head of Iran, and even me, back then, I had like this idea, I guess, in my head of how Iran was or is, but it's not like these people who like riding camels around and have like, cell phones from like 1972, and no, they're pretty advanced, and they actually used to be pretty liberal. I don't know, it's just really, it's a big deal though. Not to mention, economic wise, where we are right now, especially when we still haven't even fixed our shit with China, and the longer that we have that problem with China, it's going to cause irreversible damage to our economy. We already are having the prices of the price change on things like soybeans and stuff like that, something that we use damn near in everything. They even make, if I'm not mistaken, clothes out of soy. I think they make some fuel that's made out of soy, if I'm not mistaken. We've taken that damn soybean and made every goddamn thing out of it, okay? And we really rely on it. And we get a lot of it, though, from China, okay? Which is not happening anymore. Also, in turn, a lot of our farmers out here in America is losing money from the exporting out to them, okay? Which, I know all this is sounding all over the place and jumbled up, but just stick with me. It will just cause a domino effect. And if you guys were around in around 2000, like around 2002, 2003, 4, 5, 6, 7, basically before Obama got into office, okay? If y'all remember that time where the economy did really bad and the housing market was horrible, I remember, like, literally out here in Nevada, there were a lot of blocks. I'm talking about whole communities that within like 2 or 3 years, it would probably be like one house on that whole block where somebody lived in. I mean, a lot of people lost their houses. And it one thing to hear about it and just say, oh, that's fucked up. But to just see like a little town or whatnot that you normally see with full of people and cars and all that life, just gone, and just a whole bunch of empty houses all up and down the street. It's just weird. It's actually something that most people will never get to see because it's just not that common for that to happen. And these are people's houses, you know, homes that they grew up in and all that shit. Hold on, let me see what some of you guys are saying. I agree, and it doesn't help that, you know, we still have our allies, don't get us wrong, but we're not at the best terms with them like we were before he got into office. I'll just say that. And then, too, you have to understand, we're dragging... See, this is what happened, too. When we do shit like this, we're dragging other people into this war that maybe ain't got shit going wrong with their country. You know, like the UK or, you know, like Great Britain and all. Like, you know, they fine. You know, a lot of these people that we are, like Canada, you feel me? Like, they ain't got shit going on. So, when we do things like this, then we are disturbing other economies and other countries, you know, who may be advancing, which in turn helps us keep us number one, you know. It kind of just, it's literally like it's throws the whole world off when you are the leader of the free world and you are now in a predicament like we are in right now. Let me finish reading comments. I was trying to catch what you said, Pam. It amazes me how people forget that Trump said that Obama was going to do this to get reelected. And he told on himself. And that was another thing. Like I said, I'm not in conspiracy theories, but hell, even if you are just been paying attention to just the news within the past 3 or 4 weeks and all the stuff that our president is going through, this does seem like, you know, power play. This does seem like political theater. You know, some kind of tactic, last minute tactic used to somehow interfere with either election season or the impeachment that's going on right now. And a lot of people will be like, well, how is this going to affect that? A lot of ways, okay? It's just a lot of ways. You know, there might be even certain bills or laws that they may write because we're not fortune tellers, and a lot of these bills and laws or a lot of this shit is written along the way of whatever's happening during right now. Meaning, like, if we've never been in a certain position before, right? We have to write a bill that would protect us from if this was to happen again. Does that make sense? Like, if you guys know, like, if the president got killed, then it would be the vice president, right? And then if the vice president was killed, I think it would be like, I don't know if it's Speaker of the House that's next, or anyway, it just goes down this long line, right? But let's just say they were having a meeting on Capitol Hill and all those people died, right? Then who would be the president, right? Well, we don't really have anything in place for that because that's kind of damn near, you know, very rare, and it's never happened before. So then they would have to come together and create some kind of resolution or law or whatever that may be to make sure that that didn't happen again, and also to elect somebody for right now. Now, that was kind of like a bad example because I don't want to scare nobody, because it's not about the president dying or anything like that, or somebody new is going to get elected. The point I was trying to make is for us to be very close to election season. Also, in an impeachment, we're also in a going through in the impeachment process with a president right now. Okay, not to mention election season, on the cusp of official war and impeachment. Like, those three things are the odds of that happening all in one time is very rare. Okay, and not to mention the president still has to run the country every day. Like, you know, like, no matter what stress he's under, no matter if he's being investigated, he still has to take care of everyone in the nation. So you know, these are the power moves that some dictators will do. That way they can get, I'm stretching, but I'm just showing why he was impeached in the first place, is to kind of shake him and to not get this precedent set that you can do anything you want if you're the president. You know what I'm saying? Because we do have like the Magna Carta, the separation of power, meaning that's why we have all those branches of government. The president can only do so much. And if we turn our heads, or if they allow him, he'll move the goalposts more and more and more. And then they'll turn around and be like Venezuela, where he didn't got the goddamn Supreme Court to rewrite the Constitution in his favor. And next thing you know, this nigga gonna be president for the next 20 years. That's not what I'm saying Trump is doing. But what I'm saying is all of these situations that are happening at one time can very well, somebody can, one day be like, hey, the president needs to focus on how he's going to strategize for the war. Maybe we need to, push back the impeachment hearing, or change the date for election season and just, move it back a year, because how the hell can we focus on campaigning and deciding who's going to run the country in the middle of a fucking war? I'm being over exaggerating, but I'm just showing you how extreme and how fucking left all of this can go. That's how, just giving a few examples on how it could affect the election and the impeachment and everything else that's going on right now. Because just earlier in the summer, we were doing everything that we could to avoid a war with Iran, because they shot one of our drones down during the summer. And apparently, during that time, we had Pompeo. He's a big warmonger too, okay? He is the one that basically was the reason why we went to war when George Bush was in the office. Even though I'm not going to put on him, because George Bush and his family and all that, they are big advocates, and always, his father took us into a war. They always have wanted to get into that Middle East, okay? But Pompeo was behind, like, cheering it on, Not to mention, you have all these government contractors, all of these people who, people go to school for government contracting. People go to school to learn about, weapon engineering and all that shit, right? But you got to remember, though, war is not necessary per se, so you may be learning a skill or a trait for something that you possibly might not ever use.